Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everybody out there is having a good day, and I'm glad you guys came to watch this video. It's going to be something very special. Today, I'm going to show you guys how to invest $1,000 like a professional. Yes, I'm going to be putting my credibility on the line, and I'm going to be willing to risk losing all 30 of my subscribers and potentially being roasted in the comment section. So this is going to be a new YouTube series called Investing Together. I'm going to have a brand new brokerage account. I already have it set up. I already made my first purchase, which I'm going to show you guys in a second here. I started with $1,000, and if you're interested in watching more of this series, please leave this video a like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. So I'm going to go over the rules really quick. I'm going to disclose any and every stock I buy, any cash I add, basically any moves I make, I'm going to show you guys so you guys are going to be able to see it. This will be a continuing series, hopefully for the next year or so, years to come. We'll see how it goes. I'll be regularly adding money to the account every month, around about $250. That way it's easy for a lot of the people watching this video to kind of keep up. And I'm going to be strictly following some investment principles, which I'm going to get into in the next section. But now we want to go over the purpose, like why am I doing this? I'm doing this to give people a real life, concrete example of what investing should be like. Not a lot of people out there do this. Not a lot of people are willing to show everybody exactly what move they make, the mistakes they make, which you guys are obviously going to see, the good things they do, and everything in between. This is to help anybody that doesn't know anything about investing. It can even help intermediate and advanced. It's just to help anybody get some clarity and get some actual information out there. I'm not going to be doing shady things behind the scenes. I want to be completely open, 100% transparent. So the aim of this account is going to be to beat the S&P 500. That's because the S&P 500 is the benchmark for the stock market. And if I'm not beating that, then I shouldn't be investing in individual stocks, because essentially all the research I did going into individual stocks was kind of useless, because I could just buy an index fund and get a better return without doing any work. So I hope this will make me a better investor, and I hope it'll help anybody watching any of these videos. So now we're going to go over the successful investment principles I'm going to be following. So I'm always going to keep 10 to 30% cash in my account. You know, the 10% is for when the market is really cheap. There's a lot of deals out there. You want to buy, and keep a minimum of 10%. 30% cash is kind of for when the market's getting more overvalued. You know, you're seeing higher PEs and things are just all too good. You know, that's when you can keep around 30% of cash. I would say the only real reason to go below 10% of cash in your portfolio would be in a serious market crash like we had in March, where you just know you're getting an incredible deal and you know you'll make your money back. But that doesn't happen very often, so keep that in mind. So I'm going to start off with about 1 to 3 stocks, because the account size is so low. I don't really need any more than that. And the plan is to buy stocks in chunks. We don't want to buy all of our position at once. We don't want to sell all of our position at once. We kind of want to move gradually into these things. Now, our first investment. This is going to be the foundational stock for our entire portfolio, essentially. It's going to be very important. It needs to be a large and dominant and very profitable company. Just because we need safety in our portfolio, this is going to be our biggest investment. We really want it to be our backbone. You know, it's something that we can lean back on. We want the company to be innovative, and we want it for a value. We want a company that's growing regularly, but we don't want to pay a 50 forward PE for it. You know, we want something pretty cheap. So it's not necessarily going to 10x our money, but what it will do, hopefully, is consistently beat the market. And that way our portfolio always has a stock. Our biggest position is always consistently beating the market, which is essentially the goal. So now what's the stock? Facebook stock. Facebook's got around a market cap of $750 billion, making that stock a mega cap. So there's small caps, medium caps, large caps, and then there's companies that are mega caps, and Facebook's one of those, which is good. We want a big dominant company. So from their past annual report, their most recent one, they've got several segments to their business. They have Facebook, which includes news feed, stories, marketplace watch. They have Instagram, which has feed, stories, reels. They have Messenger and WhatsApp, which are essentially 2 messaging services. And then they have Oculus, which is virtual reality products. So we all know Facebook, and we all probably most likely use one of their products, if not all of them. So, you know, we have Instagram and Facebook. Facebook has a total of over 2 billion people using at least one of their products, which makes them very widely known and very widely used. Their daily and monthly active people are on the up, and a monthly active person for Facebook is someone that uses at least one of their products. So that, as we can see from the graph, these are continually increasing, which is really what we want to see. In Facebook's past 3 years, their average revenue growth year over year is 37%. Now, to put that in perspective, a growth stock just needs to have an average revenue growth of around 20%. And now this company's, it's a mega cap stock and it's growing that much, which is pretty insane. If we want to look at their most recent year, the revenue growth was 26%, which, like we said, is over the growth metric. In their most recent, in their past 3 years, their net income, which is another important factor, has grown 26% year over year. So a little bit less than the revenue, but that's still pretty good growth. In their most recent year, though, it gets a little scary. Their net income declined by 16%. Now that's something worth investigating. So what happened to their net income? So Facebook had a lawsuit filed against them for improperly disclosing personal private information to third parties. Now, this quote from the FTC essentially sums it up. It boils down to this: in the face of consumers' intent to limit information sharing to a select few, Facebook ignored them and shared it broadly. Facebook did that despite its privacy promises, despite consumers' efforts to protect their privacy, and despite the terms of the 2012 order. Why? To further Facebook's financial interests. So that sounds pretty serious and all. But does this really worry me as an investor? And the short answer is no. According to the FTC.gov article, the same one I got that quote from, the FTC will have an unprecedented amount of access to Facebook's privacy decisions. Now, this is after the lawsuit, after they already paid their bills. So essentially, what this is telling me is Facebook dealt with it. Facebook's being closely monitored, and you can see in the quarterly earnings since then, they've continued to grow revenue and net income. So this isn't something that really scares me. I think the company's safe, and it's got a very, very strong balance sheet. And on top of that, you got to think about all the new growth vectors. All of Facebook platforms are contagious, essentially, which means if one person has it in the group, then everybody else is going to want to have it. Facebook's just recently started to get into e-commerce, which is huge. They just announced Facebook Shops. They've had Facebook Marketplace, which is kind of like Craigslist. And Instagram released something similar to TikTok, which is Instagram Reels. If you've been in any malls lately, this is something new. Where there's normally models in stores such as American Eagle, now there's Instagram accounts. There's pictures of Instagram accounts with their ads trying on the products, the fashion products. I went into American Eagle, and for example, I saw a poster normally would be a model, was a picture of Addison Rae's Instagram account with her ad, and it had her wearing American Eagle jeans. So, I mean, that's just a huge signal that, wow, Facebook's really starting to own all this advertising. And Instagram is a huge platform, and I think it's being slept on right now, what they're doing. So in general, I'd say Facebook is an extremely powerful, dominant, innovative, and seemingly bulletproof company that's growing rapidly and has a cheap valuation and a very strong financial position. I don't know if I went over this earlier, but Facebook has loads of cash, I think almost 20 billion, and no debt. They got zero debt on their balance sheet. So what's the plan for the stock? I'm going to start by buying around 200 shares, which is around $500, and I plan on buying 2 more because I have $1,000 in the near future. Now, I want to keep that 10 to 30% cash in my account, but like I said, I don't want to buy all the stock at once. I want to buy it in chunks. So I'm starting off with two shares, and as the stock dips, I'll probably add more. There's essentially 3 scenarios. The stock could not do anything, it could go vertical, or it could dip. If it dips by around 10% in the near future, I'm buying another one. If it goes vertical, I'm just going to have to hold and possibly look for another stock and build out that position later, because I won't be interested in buying it when it's super expensive. If it does nothing, I'll probably still add more in the next couple weeks because I still like its valuation. So that's about it for the first episode of this series. I hope you guys really like this video, and please leave a like and comment down below if you want me to continue this. That's the plan. I'm gonna continue to do it every week in the future. I'm gonna see what the demand's like. So please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and everybody have a great day.